Scott, there are thousands of churches, thousands of Christian organizations, seminaries, Christian educations. Why the Disciple Nations Alliance in this group? What niche do we fill? What do we add? What do you think?
Yeah, the way I'd answer that, Dwight, is that we exist to help the church recover an older and a more comprehensive understanding of what her mission is in the world. And the way I would describe that is to bless and to heal and to restore the nations of this world, to see the nations flourish and to sing for joy, as it says in Psalm 67. I believe this older understanding of the mission of the church is rooted in God's promise to Abraham way back in Genesis 12, when he makes a promise to him saying, I will raise up from you a great nation, and that nation will be a blessing to all the nations. And I think this is really the core of God's mission in the world, to raise up a nation. And I believe that the church is enfolded into that mission, each one of us, to be a blessing to our nations, to see the nations flourish. And so this understanding, I think, has been lost. This broader understanding has been lost for about the last 150 years in the church, largely lost. The church, evangelical church in particular, has tended to reduce its understanding of mission to a much more narrow focus of saving souls and planting churches, and doesn't like to talk a lot about nations and changing culture or influencing nations and cultures and things like that. And so consequently, I think we've seen some real negative fruit from all of that. You have places all over the world. I think always of places like Zimbabwe, for example, where we've been very successful as a church in planting churches and seeing people saved, and yet you've got incredibly high rates of corruption and poverty. You think of our own nation here, the United States, I think is another example of this. We've got an active church, a church culture, and yet we've had very little impact on our nation. And so consequently, other people, other views, other religions, if you will, are having a much greater impact on shaping the nation. And it's just because we've lost sight, I think, of that bigger mission that we used to have, I would say, but we lost. And there's a whole story in that we don't need to go into, but that's why we exist. We want to help the church to kind of recover that older understanding, I would say, and then in very practical ways, learn how to live that out. What does it mean to walk in that mission, carry that out?